Yeah, what's in there? License or? I don't need registration. I just need license, proof of insurance.
When you're in the middle of a four-way quarterback competition, and when you were also, it seems like, involved with another female driver who was going 92 miles an hour at the same time you were going 101, that's reckless behavior, in my opinion. That's reckless behavior. It's dangerous, and I don't care what anybody says. That is not what you want from your rookie quarterback.
And also, Godspeed to anybody that's on a roadway with Shedeur Sanders.
Oh, my God.
He's going 101 miles an hour in a 60-mile-an-hour zone.
Now, the first thing I checked was he drinking?
That's it.
Yeah. Nope.
First thing I checked. Yep.
Was he high?
Nope.
Nope. Oh, so he's just another 21, 22-year-old kid that got some money that's chesting out the car, because I did that. And the funny thing is, a lot of players I played with, they did that.
Shedeur Sanders, the rising NFL rookie and son of Hall of Famer Deion Sanders, was reportedly pulled over late last night for driving 100 miles per hour in a 60-mile zone. While the speeding incident itself has already stirred up headlines, it's what happened during the traffic stop that's catching serious attention. According to early reports, Shedeur fully complied with the officer's instructions, pulling over immediately and presenting his ID and driver's license without hesitation. But then came a moment that left many shocked. The officer allegedly asked Shedeur for his social security number, a request that legal experts and fans alike are now calling highly irregular.
What's your social security number?
Typically, law enforcement officers ask for a driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance, not a social security number. So why did this officer step outside the bounds of standard protocol? Was this just a misunderstanding, or is there something deeper going on here? Whether it was a misunderstanding or not, Shedeur Sanders' speeding ticket instantly became the talk of the town. Within hours, social media lit up, and the headlines spun out of control. But what really shocked people wasn't just the ticket. It was how quickly the media turned on him. Journalists and commentators came lashing out as if Shedeur had committed one of the worst crimes imaginable. Suddenly, a speeding violation became fuel for criticism, and the narrative shifted from a minor traffic offense to questions about his character, discipline, and future in the NFL. Among the loudest voices was Rich Eisen, who didn't hold back. On his show, Eisen called Shedeur out directly, saying, "Anything other than training or practicing right now is going to go against him."
Whether it's on air and 7-on-7 or 11-on-11, anything that takes the conversation away from football is bad for him.
Rich Eisen took it a step further, linking Shedeur Sanders' speeding incident directly to why he was drafted in the 5th round. On air, Eisen claimed that moments like these only reinforce the narrative that Shedeur's attitude is what held him back in the draft. According to him, any action that hints at immaturity or lack of discipline just gives critics more ammunition, suggesting this kind of behavior is exactly why teams passed on him until day 3. But let's pause for a second. Is that really fair? On a recent segment, McCoy said what many were already thinking. Framing Shedeur's speeding ticket as some kind of major offense is just odd. McCoy broke it down in simple terms. First, was Shedeur drunk? No. Was he high or under the influence of anything? Again, no. So, what are we really talking about here? A young man going a little too fast on the road, not something that warrants being labeled a locker room risk or a problem child. He reminded everyone that while Shedeur is under the spotlight, he's still just a kid navigating fame, pressure, and the transition into professional football. McCoy even shared his own story, admitting that when he was Shedeur's age, he made mistakes too, and not just him. Countless other players have had similar moments without being dragged through the mud.
Any paragraph, any sentence, anything that he provides to take the subject matter away from his hard work, dedication, professionalism, tunnel vision on being the best and having a shot at being the starting quarterback.
LeSean McCoy made it clear he's not saying we should normalize reckless driving or shrug it off entirely, but what he is saying is that the reaction needs to be grounded in reality. On his show, McCoy emphasized that people sitting on TV need to stop treating Shedeur Sanders like a serious criminal and start seeing him for what he is, a 22-year-old kid who made a mistake. McCoy challenged the media to put themselves in a different mindset. He said, "Picture your own nieces or nephews doing the same thing. Would you go on national TV and drag them for it?" The difference, as McCoy pointed out, is that Shedeur has money that buys fast cars and puts him in a different spotlight. But that doesn't mean he's any less human or any more deserving of harsh judgment.
And it's not, let's make it okay, but people on TV, right, viewers out there, you got kids, you got cousins, you got nephews, you got nieces, they might get the same type of speeding ticket. The difference is he might got a couple M's in his pocket, so now his car might be a little faster. So now you might be going 85 in a 65, but he gonna go 105 in a 65. So I don't make a big deal of this thing, man. You know, you're gonna talk to him about it. Hey, you can be better. But that's what that is every day, a 22-year-old kid being a 22-year-old kid that got some money.
He could have made a better decision, sure, McCoy admitted. For McCoy, the issue isn't about excusing bad behavior. It's about keeping perspective. Shedeur has room to grow, and yes, he will grow. But to blow this incident into a character indictment? That, McCoy says, is where the real mistake lies. Emmanuel Acho also echoed LeSean McCoy's sentiment, standing firmly in Shedeur Sanders' corner. On his show, Acho acknowledged the obvious. Yes, going 100 miles per hour isn't smart, and it's certainly not going to help anyone. But at the same time, he made it clear, this incident is not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I agree with Shady a lot. I can't excuse it in its entirety because at the end of the day, going 100 miles per hour, nothing good's gonna happen when you're going that fast. I can't excuse it in its entirety, but to Shady's point, I did things like that when I was 23, 24.
For Acho, this wasn't about defending bad behavior. It was about reminding people that when you invest in someone young, you don't just get the highlights and touchdowns, you get the growing pains too. And that's something NFL teams and the media need to be prepared to handle. LeSean then shifted his concern that people who do not like Shedeur are going to shape it in a way that he cannot lead a team with this attitude, and it seems like they cannot question his performance. Then they start throwing dirt on his name with something like this. LeSean McCoy then shifted the conversation to a deeper concern, one that goes beyond just the speeding ticket. He pointed out that there's a growing pattern among those who don't like Shedeur Sanders. When they can't find flaws in his performance on the field, they start targeting his character off it. According to McCoy, this incident is just being used as ammunition. This is how they'll shape the narrative, he said. They'll say things like, "He can't lead a team with this kind of attitude." But McCoy made it clear, that kind of logic is lazy and unfair. If Shedeur was struggling on the field, maybe there would be some room for criticism. But since he's showing promise, handling pressure, and earning the respect of teammates, some critics are resorting to off-field moments like this to discredit him. And McCoy's point was proven almost instantly, because none other than Mary Kay Cabot, a longtime critic of Shedeur Sanders, came crashing down on him the moment this incident surfaced. Despite rarely giving him credit for his on-field performance, she was quick to pounce when he made a mistake off of it.
But speeding is one thing, but going 40 miles an hour over the speed limit, actually 41 miles an hour over the speed limit at 12:30 in the morning, when you're in the middle of a four-way quarterback competition.
Cabot doubled down hard, highlighting that Shedeur wasn't just speeding. He was going 40 miles over the limit. She even claimed he was racing another driver clocked at 92 miles an hour, calling it a dangerous and irresponsible act. "This is not what you want from your quarterback," she said, labeling it as reckless behavior that calls into question his leadership and maturity. There's no denying that going 100 miles per hour in a 60 miles per hour zone is wrong. It's dangerous, it's irresponsible, and Shedeur Sanders will no doubt have to face the consequences of that decision. But what's equally wrong, if not more damaging, is the way some in the media have rushed to erase everything he's done right on the field just to push the narrative that he's not fit to lead. A single mistake shouldn't become a reason to question his entire character or value as a player. Shedeur is a young man, 22 years old, adjusting to the spotlight, the pressure, and the responsibilities that come with being in the NFL. Young people, no matter their fame or fortune, make mistakes. That doesn't make them bad teammates, bad leaders, or bad people. It just makes them human. What Shedeur did was a lapse in judgment, not a reflection of his potential or commitment. He'll learn from this, he'll understand what's at stake, and likely won't repeat it. But the idea that one speeding ticket should outweigh months of hard work, discipline, and locker room respect? That's not criticism, that's agenda pushing. Let's hold him accountable, sure, but let's also be fair. But let's ask the real questions here. Do we really believe one speeding ticket defines who Shedeur Sanders is as a player or a leader? Is it fair to ignore everything he's shown on the field just because of one late-night mistake? Would we hold any other 22-year-old to the same public standard? Or is this scrutiny only because he's Shedeur? And more importantly, if he had gone 5 for 5 in a 2-minute drill the next day, would that even make the headlines? Why is it that some people are so quick to tear down rising talent the moment they see a flaw? Let us know what you think. Is this just a lesson learned, or something bigger being made out of nothing?